Instead of eating plankton, young fish are now eating plastic. About 8 million tons of plastic are leaked into the ocean annually, and its impact on the fragile underwater ecosystem has scientists worried. A new study has found that young fish are eating microplastic like junk food, and it's killing them. Microplastic particles result from the fragmentation of large plastic waste, or from tiny manufactured plastic like microbeads in cosmetic products. Measuring less than 5 millimeters, the particles flow through waterways and into the ocean, accumulating in shallow coastal areas. Larval perch that normally feed on plankton have been found to be actively choosing the microplastic as food. This has resulted in their stunted growth and sudden disregard for the smell of predators. The ability to respond to the smell of predators and flee is typically innate in young fish. When placed in tanks with their natural predator, perch that ate plastic were preyed upon 4 times faster than those that did not. All were dead within 48 hours. Scientists warn that the harmful effects of plastic is not limited to fish and may be felt throughout the food chain. The study is an important step in understanding the silent threat that plastic wastes poses on marine creatures. A U.S. ban on microbeads in body care products will take effect from July 2017, with pressure building for other countries to follow suit.
Environmental pollution contributed to the deaths of about 9 million people in 2015. That's nearly 15 times as many deaths from war.
This guy is going to act like it's breathing with me.
New Yorker Chelsea Yamada is wearing a special vest on her commute, measuring her exposure to air pollution. It's part of a multi-year study looking at pollution hotspots and the impact on cyclists' health.
It's smoky, it's thick, and you get trapped sometimes if you're really in their tailpipe, sucking it all in.
Despite recent efforts to curb pollution, a major new report from The Lancet shows more needs to be done. The study found more people died from exposure to dirty air than from health factors, including obesity, alcohol, and a high-sodium diet. Dr. Philip Landrigan of the Icahn School of Medicine at Mount Sinai.
Most of these deaths are caused by chronic diseases, specifically by heart disease, stroke, lung cancer, chronic obstructive lung disease.
Nearly 92% of the deaths occurred in developing countries, with China and India most affected, and children are at the highest risk. But each year, pollution also kills an estimated 155,000 people in the U.S. Yet the report says pollution can be addressed. In the 45 years since the U.S. passed the Clean Air Act, air pollution here has dropped 70%.
The control of pollution actually saves money because it prevents illness, it extends life, it helps the productivity of economies in the United States and in countries around the world.
Dr.
Fossil fuels. Fossil fuel is a term used to describe a group of energy sources that were formed from ancient plants and organisms during the Carboniferous period approximately 360 to 286 million years ago, even before the age of dinosaurs. At that time, the land was covered with swamps filled with organisms and plants. As they died, they sank to the bottom of swamps and oceans and over millions of years started decomposing under layers of sand, clay, and other minerals. Different types of fossil fuels formed depending on the combination of organic matter, temperature, time, and pressure conditions while decomposing. There are three major types of fossil fuels: coal, oil, and natural gas. Coal was formed from ferns, plants, and trees, which hardened due to pressure and heat. Oil was formed from small organisms like zooplankton and algae, where pressure caused the more complex organic matter to decompose. Natural gas was formed by the same process as oil, only it was exposed to more heat and pressure, causing it to further decompose and turn into a gaseous form. Fossil fuels are sought-after energy sources because they have a high energy density. They are the world's dominant energy source. Fossil fuels have a variety of applications from electricity production to transport fuels. They can also be used to make a variety of common products, from plastics to cosmetics to even some medicines. These resources have powered industrialization over history and continue to do so today. Fossil fuels can be an abundant and cheap, or in some cases, a scarce and expensive form of energy, depending on geographic location. For this reason, geopolitical issues arise due to scarcity caused by the natural geographic allocation of these highly valuable resources. Fossil fuels are considered non-renewable resources because they take millions of years to form, which means that once they are used, the resources will not be replenished in a human lifetime. The gradual depletion of the most accessible fossil fuel reserves have forced companies to develop technologies for extracting more challenging or unconventional reserves. In many cases, this means additional safety and environmental concerns as well as higher costs. Fossil fuels are also the largest emitters of carbon dioxide, a greenhouse gas which causes climate change. In addition, their production causes both environmental and human health issues. These concerns have triggered society to look at alternate sources of energy that are more environmentally sustainable and renewable. That's fossil fuels.
Our human activities consume resources and produce waste, and nature needs to have the capacity to meet these demands. The ecological footprint is a way to measure our human demand on nature. Every one of us has an ecological footprint. The footprint represents the impact of a person, a household, a city, a business, or a country on nature. Things like food, energy, transportation, goods and services, all contribute to our ecological footprint. The footprint is expressed as the amount of land and water required to produce what we consume and to absorb the waste we generate. By measuring the ecological footprint, we can assess the pressure our lifestyle puts on the planet. This helps us to manage our ecological assets more wisely and to take personal and collective action.
society faces important environmental challenges. Greenhouse gas emissions increase the Earth's temperature. Industrial pollution and toxic emissions endanger ecosystems and clean water reserves. Important metals, needed for electronics and machines, are becoming scarce. Fossil fuels, which society heavily depends on, are rapidly depleting. Solving these environmental issues increasingly becomes a responsibility of the producing industry, since it is a main origin of these environmental problems and a large consumer of fossil fuels and mineral reserves. To understand to what extent an industry contributes to various environmental issues, products can be screened using life cycle assessment. This is a technique to assess the environmental impact of a product's life cycle. In life cycle assessment, all stages of a product's life are taken into account. Resource use, material processing, product manufacturing, distribution, use of the product, and end-of-life operations. Life cycle assessment has been standardized by the International Organization for Standardization and gives us the opportunity to measure how the life cycle of a product contributes to an extensive set of environmental indicators. These are grouped in damage to human health, damage to ecosystem quality, and resource depletion. This way, products can be compared by using specific environmental themes. This allows us to answer questions like, which product has the lowest impact on climate change? Or, which product is most toxic to humans? Life cycle assessments shows in which life cycle stage environmental impacts are highest and can even assess individual steps in the production process. This way, companies can decide how to improve the environmental performance of their product. Results can be used for marketing purposes, like product A has a lower environmental impact than product B and C. Or for R&D, we know how we can improve the sustainability of this product. Sustainable development is the most important challenge of the future, and life cycle assessment gives important conclusions on how to make industries more sustainable.
For more information, please contact Dr. Lex Ruse.
Around the world, renewable energy use is on the rise. And these alternative energy sources could hold the key to combating climate change. What is renewable energy? Renewable energy is generated from sources that naturally replenish themselves and never run out. The most common sources are solar, wind, hydro, geothermal, and biomass. Over 80% of the total energy consumed by humans is derived from fossil fuels. However, renewables are the fastest growing source of energy in the world. Renewable energy has many benefits. First, it can combat climate change because it creates no direct greenhouse gas emissions. The only emissions that they produce are indirect, meaning those that result from manufacturing parts, installation, operation, and maintenance. But even those are minimal. Second, renewable energy can decrease pollution and therefore reduce threats to our health. Wind, solar, and hydroelectric systems create no air pollution emissions, and geothermal and biomass energy systems emissions are much lower than non-renewable energy sources. Third, renewable energy is a reliable source of power. Because renewable energy sources are, well, renewable, they will never run out. Once built, renewable facilities cost very little to operate, and the fuel is often free. As a result, renewable energy prices tend to be stable over time. While renewable energy has many advantages, it is not without downsides. It is difficult for renewable energy sources to generate power on the same large scale as fossil fuels. Building wind farms and dams can disrupt wildlife and migration patterns and lead to ecological destruction. Both solar and wind energy are intermittent. They only generate power while the sun is shining or while the wind is blowing. Batteries can store excess energy for later use. However, they are often costly. While renewable energy presents some challenges, it also offers an environmentally friendly alternative to the greenhouse gas emissions and pollution of fossil fuels. And as advances in technology make renewable energy more accessible, affordable, and efficient, an end to climate change could be within our reach.
Let's talk about lean manufacturing. So what is lean? Lean is about maximizing value, eliminating waste, and constant improvement. What is value? Value is any action or process that customers are willing to pay for. What is waste? Waste is anything that does not add perceived value to the product. There are three main waste categories, known in Japanese as muda, where no value is added to the product, mura, where product quality is inconsistent, and muri, where resources overstretch plant facilities due to poor planning. Toyota identified 7 types of waste with the acronym TIMWIP: transportation, unnecessary movement of people or parts; inventory, unnecessary storage of materials and products; motion, unnecessary movement of people or parts within a process; waiting, people or parts waiting for a process to be completed; overprocessing, processes arising from poor design of the process chain; overproduction, processing more than what's immediately needed; and defectives, products not meeting quality requirements, needing repetition or correcting processes. Lean manufacturing is better illustrated through a house model. It is based on long-term planning, using production leveling and standardization. This relies on the just-in-time philosophy. Lean also relies on Jidoka and Kaizen. This is making problems visible so that employees can act on abnormalities. But how is this achieved? Man-machine separation, where one operator can manage various machines, and automation, where one operator managing the machines can detect problems and can stop or slow down production through undone and fix or correct the immediate problem, and then investigate the root cause of the issue to take measures to ensure it does not happen again. For instance, by making assembly of parts mistake-proof through Poka-Yoke. Through all these measures, we achieve the best quality products at the lowest cost in the fastest production time while ensuring a safe working environment and keeping employees motivated. Let's see what we have learned with an example. Let's see what we have learned with an example. SA Productions is a t-shirt printing company, and at the moment they order plain shirts in batches of 20, so in most cases storage is therefore required. These stored items then undergo subsequent motion to the printing plant, where a single complex multifunction machine prints all features on all shirts simultaneously. After Group 49's placement at SA Productions, batches were ordered to fit customer requirements, eliminating the need to store items. The printing process was split into 4 main operations, carried out one at a time, where defects were easily spotted. With this, we eliminated buffer inventories, reducing unnecessary movement, eliminating waiting time, and benefiting by ordering just in time.
Created using Powtoon.